bada kaboom goes the U.S. debt. 40 trillion greenbacks we owe, 13 zeros, and growing. We all know how we got here, profligate politicians of all stripes. Now, to get out of this debtor disaster, what do we want? Growth. When do we want it? Now.
What we're going to do, we're going to have to grow our way out of this. I think the numbers are not the actual numbers now. We've had to do substantial tariff refunds due to the court ruling, but with the Section 301 tariffs, I am confident that we will be back to the same level, if not higher, of tariff income for last year, and that is most of the increase in the deficit. And remember, we did not get here in a day. That we were left with a mess. The Biden administration had the highest deficit to GDP in history when we weren't at war or weren't in a recession. For 2025, we brought it down by more than 1%.
All good points, Scotty B. As Unleash Prosperity puts it, our national wealth is still a whole lot larger, $180 trillion. So for the panicans, myself included, our debt-to-asset ratio is not in freak-out territory. But in the meantime, we are paying a worrying amount of interest on that debt, set to hit $1.4 trillion this fiscal year. That's interest. That comes out to be about $3.8 billion per day. So when interest rates go up even just a little bit, that interest payment goes up a whopping amount because of the ginormous principal that we owe. Now, Congress has to cut the shizzle with the spending, and you got to grow. And guess what? You do not grow an economy by taxing people even more or borrowing up the wazoo. So for all the tax-obsessed Democrats pouncing on this debt problem today, sit down and stop spending first. Joining me to discuss, the Heritage Foundation chief economist, EJ Antoni. EJ, wherever you want to start is fine by me, but the intervention by the Treasury Department, by Secretary Bessent, to buy back some of these longer-term Treasury securities was meant to drive down longer-term interest rates, and it didn't work. It doesn't reduce the overall amount of debt that we own. And I saw one group of analysts refer to it as moving the deck chairs around on the Titanic. Is it that dire?
Well, Dagan, I don't know if we would say it's that dire, but I think people are really blowing it out of proportion, frankly, when people get hyperbolic about it and start talking about yield curve control. Look, the Treasury is just swapping some on-the-run and off-the-run Treasuries. That's all they're doing. And in this case, the difference between them is not only that they're on and off the run, but also the fact that you're dealing with short and long-term debt. So you're swapping out, again, short and long. So you're swapping out the duration, not just whether or not it's newly issued debt or old debt. Okay, all that being said, it's a few $billion dollars. As you just pointed out, we're $40 trillion in debt. I understand not all of that is traded every day. There's plenty that's held at the Fed. There's plenty that's held in intergovernment holdings. Again, it's not all being traded every single day. But still, $2 to $4 billion is not a significant part of what is getting traded. The impact here is just nowhere near as big as I think people are making it out to be. Now, all that being said, people talk about the debt and they say, well, what do I care, right? Why should I be affected? I didn't care when it was 35 trillion. Why should I care when it was 40 trillion? Did you notice the inflation we've had for the last 6 years? That was created by the government spending, borrowing, but also printing too much money. That's what gave us 40-year high inflation. And are you wondering why your credit card interest rate, your mortgage interest rate, interest rates on everything, business loans, student loans, you name it, those are all high because private borrowers are having to compete with the government who is borrowing a couple $1 trillion a year. So interest rates are going to stay high as long as the borrowing does too.
Well, the goal of the government at this point, and it falls on the shoulders of the Treasury Secretary in large part, is to manage, and the Federal Reserve, is to manage inflation fears so investors at least feel comfortable continuing to lend to the federal government at these lower rates, keep the rates as low as absolutely possible, and then, you convince people that they can control inflation and then grow the economy absolutely as fast as you possibly can to manage our way out of this debt hoard. Is that doable?
I think it is, Dagan. But look, this idea that we can somehow, only grow our way out of it. No, Congress has to get their act together. It is long past time Congress gets on board with the DOGE agenda. Look, the executive branch here, I think, has done a tremendous amount of work to actually cut spending. They're the ones that were behind DOGE. DOGE handed on a silver platter billions of dollars in potential cuts to Congress. And Congress basically said, you know what? No, thanks. We don't want to do that. Right. And what has been the result? It has been a continuation of this runaway spending. So, Dagan, you're absolutely right. We need big spending cuts, but we also need to get government out of the way in terms of taxation and regulation, which was the Reagan formula. That was the supply side miracle of the 1980s that gave us double-digit growth rates.
Right. But just before I move on, like that stupid housing bill, bipartisan, that even the Republicans were crowing about. It was a spending bill. It was money that did not need to be spent because it doesn't fix housing. And just to put an exclamation point on it, the top 10% of taxpayers in this country, these are people who make about $188,000 or more. They pay 70% of the taxes. And if you take all of the taxes they pay, that just about covers our interest on the debt this year. So, they're already paying so much in tax, and it barely covers our interest. That's how troublesome that is. But that being said, moving on, Canada. Trade minister in D.C. today, meeting with U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer for another round of talks in an effort to avert the 50% tariffs on Canadian exports to the U.S. The new deadline is midnight tomorrow night. Both sides are indicating they are close. Is this promising? Does this need to happen more for Canada than us?
I think it is promising, Dagan. I'm going to remain hopeful here. Look, like you and I talked about well over a year ago now, the fact is that all else being equal, you never want to add tariffs, right? Because you're essentially taxing international transactions. You don't want to do that. But what is so different in this administration is the fact that they are using these tariffs as a negotiating tool. In other words, we're trying to get Canada to reduce their tariff and non-tariff barriers on all kinds of American exports, from American factory workers to American dairy farmers. And until those American exports actually have full unfettered access to Canadian consumer markets, then we're going to put up obstacles for the Canadian exporters. And again, the idea here is not to get into a tit for tat and ultimately increase tariff rates. The idea is actually more free, but also fair trade.
EJ Antoni, thank you, sir. Great to see you.
Thank you.